Hi, and welcome to episode 2 of my foray into solar power. Um, since I did my first episode, I've submitted, or I've had a company submit on my behalf, a application to the Electricity company for well, what we did was we went for a larger system than I could actually fit on my roof. Because if they okay a particular size, you can go less than that without having to reapply. And so if we go for a big one, because I'm not quite sure exactly what I'm gonna go for in terms of the final system. If we go for a bigger one, then it gives me time to have a think about the exact system I want to have while the application process is going on, because it's going to take quite a long time. So we've put together an 8 kilowatt system, which I couldn't actually fit on my roof, supported by 2 inverters strung together, and we'll see what they say. If they say, yep, basically that's fine, then what we'll probably end up doing is either something around the sort of 7.2 kilowatts, which is about as big as I could go, or potentially a 6.6 kilowatt, which I'd be able to run off a single inverter. If I went for the sort of 7.2, I'd have to have 2 inverters strung together. Or potentially I might even go as low as a sort of a 5.5 kilowatt system, because that will give me the option to have a single inverter, which is a sort of a hybrid inverter battery charger system, and then I can have some batteries as well. So I need to give all of that some thought, but at least the application is in and ongoing. So as soon as I hear something back about what sort of system I'm allowed to have, I'll need to be in a position to have made my final decision. So if I was to go for a 7.2 kilowatt system, I would have to have basically 22 BenQ 330 watt panels on my roof, which will just about fit, but would only leave a sort of a clearance on either side of probably only about 15 to 20 centimeters, which is not really, I mean, there's no hard and fast rules about how much clearance you've got to have, but the rule of thumb generally in the industry, it seems, is about 30 centimeters. So it's a bit less than that, and that's probably not ideal. The reason why they want us to have a sort of a 30 centimeter gap is because of wind loading. If the wind gets underneath the panels, it can actually lift them off your roof. And they don't really want that, so they need to be set back from the edge somewhat. So yes, the 7.2 is probably a bit big then. So the next option is to have a 6.6 kilowatt system, which is just 20 panels, 2 rows of 10 in a landscape, and that gives you the clearance either side then. So but ideally I wanted to get a bit more than that. So the other alternative solution would be to have 3 rows of 7 in a landscape, which would still give me the required clearance at the edge, and that would give me sort of 6.9, so almost 7 kilowatts. So I need to decide that it's a bit more expensive apparently to fit them landscape, so that's going to factor into the cost of the system, and I need to take that into account. But if I go for nearly a 7 kilowatt system, again, I'd need to have 2 inverters, and there's an extra cost there as well because you've got to buy 2 inverters. So it might not be cost effective to do that. It might be better to go for the 2 rows 10 and have a 6 kilowatt inverter. So all that's ongoing, and I will try and do a bit more later when I know a little bit more. But for now, as the battery's about to run out on my camera, I'll leave it there. So see you next time. Bye.